evening. Welcome to the Board of Education meeting. It is October 27th. We obviously don't have a superintendent here tonight, so we're going to basically just take care of business. Be in and out so we can watch the Mets play, win. There are a bunch of announcements. The only one I want to make sure that people know about, there is a SEPTA coffee, and that's tomorrow morning at Hillside. So I don't know if anybody's actually probably going to see that one, but I hope people go to that. There is also the Harvest Moon Ball is on November 7th, which is a great event, and I hope a lot of people will come out and see that too.
Everything's on November 7th.
So we don't have a superintendent for a report, so we'll go straight to public comment. We have one member of the public here tonight, so we're very excited about it. So we are after you talk to us.
Good evening. Timmy Downey, 520 Farragut Parkway. I want to come here tonight and just mention two things. One is a little belated, but it still is worthy of mention, still the same. The gentlemen who do the grounds here for the school did an absolutely stellar job again this year, going into the end of summer in preparation for the new school year. I remember there was a time not too long ago when we used to actually subcontract out to have the work done. I'd say there's no comparison between the kind of heart and quality work that the men here now do compared to what used to be done when we subbed out. The place really sparkled, really sparkled. And I actually stopped and spoke to the men a couple times and acknowledged what a wonderful job it was. So tactile, well done, and the guys really do, and the gals, whoever's involved, deserve the acknowledgement. It was an excellent job. Compared to our neighboring school in another community not too far away, day and night. I mean, it was a really nice job here. The second thing was in August, I actually took to task something I had brought up in a meeting here some time ago. I was to be presenting this idea to the village and to the Parks and Rec Department. And the idea was to create some auxiliary parking on, I think it's called Chauncey Lane, behind the field. During the August, I actually took the time to measure and do some calculations, how many spaces could be gained, what would be the impact on the surrounding area, because there was a time not too many years ago where they wanted to expand the parking by the pool, and there was a big uproar about that. It may have been how they intend to do it. This is a very gentle approach, using a lot of recycled materials, permeable surfaces. In doing the approach that I mapped out, and if one walks that road, if you look right...
Are you on Chauncey Lane or are you on Far Lane?
Which is the...
Far Lane is Scary Street.
Scary, okay.
That's Far Lane.
Far Lane. You're on Scary. Okay,
Far Lane. Thank you for the correction. Far Lane. If you were to walk on the side of the street of the pool and look down to your right where the pavement meets the woods, you'll see a little blue or green dots there. And that was part of the marking out to get a calculation of parking spaces. You would gain, according to the calculation I did, being generous with the spaces, 35 parking spaces head-on and 6 parking spaces parallel to the road for over 40 spaces, providing relief during school events, graduation, and the games, where it'd be safer than the streets, what often happens on South Calumet when those events occur. And it would be nice if it was integrated with the renovation of the field, where there's a safe pathway coming down to it. Again, relief for the neighbors, safer. And then it could also be used in combination with the pool and events at the pool, which is why the village and the parks will be spoken to about this as well, where it actually would tie into a very lovely nature trail that I also laid out going up to the pool, where there's minimal impact and actually enhancements to the woods and hillside. Similarly, with the parking spaces, there's a minimum of trees, and I have notations here on a little white piece of paper on the corner of the table with the number of trees that would be affected, and so forth. So if there's any interest in this down the road, I'd be happy to discuss further and give a little more in-depth review of it.
You've already spoken with the village board?
No, that's... I missed last week's meeting, so it'll be coming up this meeting, and then the next Park and Rec. I just want to try and knock these down, so that's why I'm here tonight.
Okay.
So present to the school, because it's sort of a shared thing with the school and the village.
We would definitely benefit from it. It's just not our land, so, or our money, so.
Okay, and it can be done very inexpensively. So.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd present that tonight. Again, thank the guys for wonderful work.
Well, thank you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, and actually, in addition to the work they do outside, I mean, Joe Martirano has done a great job, his entire staff. They did a beautiful job working on the auditorium as well. I mean, they're doing a really terrific job, so thank you to all the people who are involved there.
When is it going to be done?
What's that?
When is it going to be done?
Supposed to be done
13th or
in November. First or second week in November.
The day before our town was on stage.
open up for our town.
Open up for our town?
No, our town's going to be in December.
Yeah.
They moved
They
it.
moved it? They moved the date, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely be open by then.
And they moved the date just to be sure that it was opened,
Oh.
and with not just the day before, so that the tech people could have a chance to.
Okay, so we're going to move on to this proclamation, Janine?
All right, so this is National School Boards Week, and we have a proclamation from the governor, which reads, whereas each year School Board Recognition Week is observed by more than 700 school boards and school districts throughout the Empire State, and whereas the men and women serving as members of school boards are dedicated to children, learning, and community, and devote many hours of service to elementary and secondary public education, as they continually strive for improvement, excellence, and progress in education. And whereas the members of New York's local school boards respond to the educational needs of the communities they serve, and in doing so, these leaders help strengthen our state's educational system and improve future prospects for our children. And whereas during October 26th to 30th, 2015, special activities and programs will be held in communities across New York State in observance of School Board Recognition Week, and it is fitting to join in acknowledging the commitment and contributions of members of local school boards. Now, therefore, I, Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor of the State of New York, do hereby proclaim October 26th to 30th, 2015 as School Board Recognition Week in the Empire State. And as a thank you from the Hastings-on-Hudson School District, you all have a small gift.
Oh, this is from the
Thank
district, this is
you.
not, yeah.
These are really cute.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will think of
you.
you every time I drink them.
Yes.
Didn't it say like 2 years ago he was the only one standing up for kids? Doesn't that say that you do that too?
Okay, now is not the time for a really good memory gap. Well, I mean, I appreciate the
Thank you,
district, that's really cute.
Thank you to the district.
Yes, they're great.
And actually, thank you to everybody here, too, because whether you're getting paid or not, I think we're doing
Thank
a
you
good
for
job.
what?
For everybody, participation, everybody everybody does, so. So, moving
you.
on. We have business items. I didn't have anything I wanted to pull out, but I did have a question on the, two things. One, the announcing services. Are those for, what, yeah,
Sports. It's a,
Right.
yeah, it's a,
Yeah.
a gentleman who comes and does all the announcements at the game, and he brings his own sound system with him.
so he's doing football games and basketball
He
games?
does both. And that's why, depending upon the event he does, it could range. But typically, for the higher rate, he's here for at least 4 hours, so.
Okay.
So
That's per event?
did we used to
Per event.
pay David?
We did used to pay
Rosenberg?
David, yes. That's what I was going to mention.
Okay.
Anyone that you see there, well, is being paid, beside myself.
Is he new to doing it, though?
He is.
Kevin? Is he? Okay. I haven't heard him, so I just.
But we
I
never
believe
used to
he may have
people
done
do
a one-
basketball.
Excuse me?
We haven't had people do
No,
basketball.
he does the varsity basketball games as well. Maybe not every basketball game, but he did about 5 or 10 last year.
The other question I had was on the amendment to the retirement plan. Is
Yes.
that anything, what was the rationale for,
Oh, on the 403B?
yeah.
That's just, I actually have, it's funny because my attachments I don't have, but that was just a plan amendment based upon recommendations from Omni, so it's probably a compliance. I just have to go back and look at it.
Okay. Anybody have other questions, or? All right. Can I get a motion then for all the business items in A, 1 through 10?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. I'm going to guess there aren't any questions on these placements. Can I get a motion then to approve all the placements?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay.
There was just one thing on the, it said step B appointments in number 8. I think you meant schedule B, right? Oh, okay. Is that, kept wondering what step B meant.
Oops. Okay. Next are the personnel items. I had a couple of questions on the
Yep.
appointments.
We had to make a change from the original, so you probably saw that.
What was the amended, you mean,
From the original published, this is from the one that was, we changed a few things from Friday, in terms of we had to take some things off and amend some language on some of the appointments based upon civil service with the Joe.
oh, okay.
Okay.
The one I have, Joe was switching,
Yeah, but I had to switch him back temporarily while I I need to do a different process, and then I would be able to make his full appointment, hopefully by the end of November.
Oh,
It
okay.
has to do with the
The
timing of
civil
the
service
list and everything, yes.
Okay.
Because when we hired him, the list had not been established, so it's just kind of the process that we have to go through.
All right. Any questions on
Yeah,
that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So maybe Maureen, you could explain, why is it that Sarah Walters and Ross Abrams get paid so much less additionally for being an advisor than some of the other people who are doing advising or?
Well, all of the positions that are negotiated, they're, at one point in time, the hourly rate behind each is supposed to be the same, and it's really the amount that they get paid as a stipend is based upon what they believe that the amount of hours toward, I believe there either was like $30 or $40 an hour that's used to kind of calculate out what the stipend should be. So Ross and Sarah do split this position, and I guess based upon their recommendation of what the total stipend would be. It's really a one stipend, but they choose to do it together or split the responsibility. But
A lot of the clubs are down low.
yeah, because a lot of them only meet like either once a week or once every other week. So obviously anything sports related typically meets every day.
For a lot more hours.
Like say the arts extravaganza, although that's what culminates in a one-day event, I guess there's a lot of months of planning and preparation that may go into it outside. But I think it really goes back to one of the things we've been talking about is to try to update our job descriptions for especially for Schedule Bs, because other things are much clearer. But at one point in time when they're negotiated, that they talk about, how many times a week it'll meet and how many participants, and then that's kind of multiplied out by that per diem rate, and that's how the stipends are agreed to. And Ultimate Frisbee's back, so. You saw that Ultimate Frisbee is back.
I know.
Well, I noticed. Look,
You love it.
I'm all for Ultimate Frisbee. I'm
I
just,
don't know, Matt's on the professional New York team.
Oh, wow.
The steps come in
several-
based on people's experience.
Yes.
there are several board members who have children who've played significant amounts of Ultimate Frisbee.
That's what, yeah, I remember that.
Right?
So I guess there was a bunch of kids who wanted to kind of get it going.
I think it's becoming more popular.
So can I have a motion then to approve the appointments?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Annette Melillo is retiring?
Yes, she is, so.
23
Yeah, over
years.
23 years. Annette worked, started in Hastings, I believe as a teacher aide, and then when I started, she worked in the library for many years as like a library assistant, and most recently has worked, I believe, the last 5 to 6 years in the guidance office as
Yeah.
a secretary, so she's really looking forward to her retirement and spend time with her grandchildren. And as you know, Annette's a Hastings resident, and
Yeah.
all of her kids went through here, so she's really excited about it, so we wish her well.
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely.
yeah.
Um,
Thank her for.
So I'm going to combine for voting purposes the retirement with the amendments. Can I have a motion
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
Did anybody have any questions about the amendments? or-
Just a
Good.
quick question. What is the criteria for moving from a teacher aide to a teacher assistant?
Well, most of our teacher aides are either classroom aides in a kindergarten setting or a one-to-one aide in a special classroom, where in certain, this particular person, her role now has transitioned more to the teacher assistant that helps the teacher kind of teach in the classroom. So based upon discussions with Lori, sometimes we have, I believe, out of our teacher aide staff, we have about 9 people who currently are teachers or have moved to that role of teacher assistant. All of our teacher aides are certified as teacher assistants. We have them, so we have the flexibility if the need arises to move them into that position.
You're saying there
Great,
should be
thank you.
criteria?
Well,
clear
There is-
criteria?
there is a difference
Sometimes-
in-
Aide
yeah,
is a
there is.
non-instructional position, and
Right.
the teacher
Right.
assistants are instructional
Right,
positions.
they
so
can, right.
That's the difference.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay. Did anybody have anything on the minutes? These were from the October 13? No? Can I have a motion to approve then?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. All right. We have not been meeting, apparently, have we? Is that right? That there are
Did we have a facility, oh no, we had a construction meeting, okay.
We have what?
I
A
think, you know,
facilities meeting.
We had a diesel meeting the afternoon of our last board
Oh,
meeting,
okay.
but that was the last one I had been
Yeah.
at. And we'd also met with the audit, was prior to that as well.
Okay.
So
You had there was a construction.
But that wasn't a facilities meeting,
Wasn't
that's why it was,
facilities,
that's why I was trying to think of who was there, right?
Okay, so
Yeah,
the only one we have is the board student liaisons.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Liz.
we met, we had the first meeting of the year, and got those students out of bed with donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Donuts from Lou. And on the agenda was an update on technology and improved Wi-Fi. The auditorium and field updates were given to the kids. But the main agenda item was the, excuse me, the first day of school and the senior welcome event, which, I don't know if did we discuss that at a meeting? I think we did discuss it at a meeting, but Lou gave sort of an hour-by-hour account of his experience of the day, which started at 6:30 in the morning, and then his observations, his own experience, and then parent complaints, meetings with students. And for the public, the event, which was really, I think, started by Lou maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago.
I don't think it was started by Lou, but it was started around the time when Lou.
I think it was his idea, actually, to have a senior. Well, in any case, it has evolved into a rather raucous event, and this year became an offensive event due to the high level of energy as well as offensive music that was played. And so he discussed meetings that he's had with students. And it was interesting because the student reaction was one of sort of shock, and they did not realize that the event was interpreted as, overly boisterous, and Jody jump in at any time, or offensive. So students apologized to some teachers, and there was a follow-up parent liaison meeting. I mean, the high school liaison meeting discussed the topic. I think you were there, right?
I wasn't at that one, but I was at the diesel one we talked about.
So, and then it was interesting to get the kids' perspectives. From kids at the meeting. So the kids at the meeting, there was a range of, oh, I thought it was fun, I thought it was funny, to younger classmen saying, I look forward to this, I know it's going to be intimidating, and it was intimidating. And there was a real discussion about how to reflect on that experience and what to do about it. Jody, any other?
I
thoughts?
just think that the general sense that Lou communicated was what started off years ago as a welcome has become more intimidating.
And each year now they have to, one class has to
Has to
outdo the
outdo the-
next in terms of its.
So I think he expressed his intense disappointment and feeling that things were going to have to change for next year, that he really didn't see it continuing down the same path, and each year doing something more and outdoing the previous year. So I think he was.
I think the fact that a lot of the students were surprised by the reaction to adults and other kids who had to experience it is meaningful, in that there should be more conversations, maybe with Lou and with Melissa, around certain behaviors. Because while I'm not surprised that they were surprised, I feel like this is a very good opportunity to have conversations
I talked about it. I thought it was
with them.
really a teachable
Yeah.
moment
Yeah.
here, that an opportunity that
Right.
really had to be taken advantage of.
Right. Was he planning to do something?
Yes, I think he's thrown it out to the officers at the board liaison meeting to take it back to the kids and to have conversations and to.
But I think he's also speaking with the faculty and talking about other possibilities of whether they even bring people
Well, they're moving
in.
forward that World of Difference program also.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like it's something that's more immediate. The response needs to be more immediate by the time some program gets
I
set up.
agree with you, Karen,
That's
totally.
a while from now. And the fact that these kids that were involved would all not know what happened or understand, you know, the consequences of their actions, I think it needs to be something that's more immediate.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, I know that he said that he had spoken with a lot of the kids, but I don't know if it was all the seniors. I don't think they collected like all the seniors
Right.
or all the juniors or anything like that.
Right.
In that way.
I think there are going to be ongoing conversations with the kids directly,
Yeah.
as opposed to what's going to happen.
Do you get a feel for how many students are aware of?
Well, yeah, a lot of kids, there's like rumors
you give her the mic?
about like not doing it. And yes, although like it might seem kind of intimidating, but that's kind of like part of the tradition where it's like, woo, like welcome to high school. Like it's kind of like new experiences. You're about to walk in, so you like get to walk through like a whole like
Yeah.
tunnel of like new people that you haven't really interacted with before. And I feel like you guys said that every year they're trying to outdo each other, but actually I found my freshman year, I thought it was so much more, of course I was a freshman too, but they put like little stickers on us that were like, you're worthless, like go back to middle school freshman, like blah, 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 like in my freshman year. And this year it was like totally fine. Like it was just like high school, like seniors, blah, blah, blah. Like it wasn't as offensive as I found it was my freshman year. So I feel like it's actually kind of mellowing down in the sense of it being offensive, but I do understand how it can be like really intimidating for the younger kids. And it's not required that all the kids walk through the front entrance, you know? So I feel like that could be, I know there's a freshman meeting in August or the really beginning of September, I thought there is a freshman meeting. So maybe it could be like,
He said
Mr.
that.
A could say, you guys
did.
really should, if you feel, like, I feel like
My daughter
if
told me
students
that
had
he said
followed
at the
that-
freshman meeting in August, he said, if you're not comfortable with that kind of thing, go in through the middle school.
So yeah, so I feel
But
like,
to me, I just feel like it's sort of avoiding the issue.
well,
I agree.
I don't know, like, for me, like, when I'm gonna be a senior next year, like, it's a fun thing to do, like, it's fun to, like, you know, be like, we're seniors, like, welcoming all the freshmen into the grade and kind of just being, like, really spirited the first day. And I think it's fun to be able to see how spirited the seniors get, you know? It was cool, like, all 3 years that I walked in, I was like, oh, wow. Like, it's a fun thing to do, and, like, I don't know, you can see, like, what's on you after. I don't know, I think it's a fun tradition, and I see how it could be a little bit intimidating for some kids. But, you know, they do have the option to, like, walk in the Cochrane gym or walk in the middle school, and I think that Mr. A should just stress that it's, like, oh, totally okay if you do that. Like, if you don't want to walk in the front, you know, it's okay to do. And
But don't you think that puts kids in a really difficult position? Because here you're coming to high school, it's your first day, and so instead you're going to walk in through the middle
You're not
school.
comfortable enough to walk
Yeah,
in the front
and you're
door.
scared anyway. You're scared about going to high school, and
Yeah.
so what you're describing is sort of fun. I think for the kids who are going through it, just like if you think about what it was like when you were going to be a freshman, I think if it was just about welcoming and school spirit, that would be fun. But I think it feels like when you start putting stuff in people's hair and stuff on them, and yes, granted, it's only a few minutes, you walk through, it's over, but it just feels like it's a kind of a lousy way to start your first day of something you're a little
For
bit
some,
intimidated
yeah, that's
about.
the problem.
Well,
is
I think-
there's no uniform response
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the
And-
problem.
I mean, personally, I liked being like, oh my god, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was walking to school the first day of my freshman year, and I, like, heard the seniors screaming, like, when I was on Mount Hope, and I was like, oh my god, like, this is so scary, but, like, I'm so excited, and, like, I, like, went and saw all my friends, and were like, oh my god, look, I got, like, this on me, like, I have all this stuff on me. So I think it was a really fun experience for me to have, but I understand that it seems very intimidating, so maybe us as seniors, we could try to make it less of like seniors versus, you know, everybody else, more of like, woohoo, like welcome to high school, like kind of a thing like that. And with the music that was being played,
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about.
yeah, I don't think that was appropriate at all for the students to be playing on school grounds, like playing out loud. I don't think it's like appropriate to be playing music that can be deemed offensive to some people. So I don't know if they played music last year. I don't think that they did. I don't know. I think that was just these seniors that did that and kind of crossed the line with that part.
But you haven't had discussions in classes and things like that?
No, we haven't had
You haven't had
discussions
meetings,
in classes.
but I think that's what
definitely-
you're talking about.
Yeah, if it's being thought of as it's being thought to cancel it or to just change it in any way, there definitely should be discussion between the seniors and the teachers and the juniors as well, because we're going to be the most affected next
Yeah.
year.
Right.
Sure.
And I don't think it's very, fair if it's been a tradition for so long to just cut it off without any student input. I think that's just
Yeah, I would be
I agree.
not.
Well, that's why I think students
They
should
should-
approach Mr. A and talk to
Yeah.
him if he's not approaching students to talk about it.
Yeah. But
It seems like you can strike a balance. It can be fun and boisterous and
Yeah.
exciting, but it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to
you
be,
can
like,
take the
nasty.
intimidation
Yeah.
piece out of it.
Yeah, nasty stickers cross the line
yeah,
for me.
and
Yeah.
I didn't see any this
Stuff
year.
in
I
your
don't think
hair and
there
your
was anything
face
that
if you don't
was
want it.
that
You know,
bad.
glitter, I don't know.
That's sticky.
It does seem to turn into a class versus class,
Well, that's what, I mean.
And pep rally, too. I
Pep
heard.
rallies are hugely
Pep rallies
class
are always
versus
like
class.
that.
Yes, and they're always like that.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is that we've got this great program where we have 24 kids who are basically said, you've got to go out there and get to know the freshmen and get to know them, and that's really, really positive. And we don't have any way of kind of implicating that into the rest of the class, where it
Well,
would be
I
so
don't know.
positive. Like have each kid be part of a team that's sort of mentoring, a freshman kid or something like that. I just wonder if there's a way to kind of break down some of that and make each kid realize, seniors and juniors, that they're the bigger kids in the class. It's like fourth grade reading buddies. It's like, can everybody take a little responsibility for the younger kids too?
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough to do. You don't want to turn it into something like, Rainbow wins field day.
Yeah, it's almost.
You want it to have a little bit of an edge, but you somehow want the edge to not. Sorry, go on.
Rainbow wins.
Thank you, thank you
That's a blast from the past.
Anyway,
Thank you
it's
for
very
sharing
interesting to get your perspective
your
on it.
Yeah, Emily,
Very
thank you for that.
perspective,
But
yeah.
also about what you're saying about all seniors trying to go with freshmen, I think that peer leadership is enough, and because it's not a small school, everybody kind of already knows the freshmen, and I feel like we have a sense of community in Hastings where it's not any seniors are there's no freshman hazing
Right.
freshman Friday or anything crazy that's really going after the freshmen. I feel like it's more just hi, I don't know. I feel like
Well, the
everybody's
classes are
kind of
mixed. I
welcome
mean,
to-
your phys ed
Right,
classes
I
are
think
mixed.
that's one of the
your sports
best
teams are
things
all
about the high
the
school.
drama and
There's a
everything
lot
is
of
mixed. Yeah.
interactions, and because it's such a small school,
Yeah.
there's even more
Band,
interactions
orchestra, all those things,
there
yeah.
are because of classes, and so
Did you have anything else that you wanted to report out on, or?
no, just JF planning. We're doing a Great Gatsby /20s theme, so we're gonna have chandelier and little twinkly lights and white draped tents, and so that's going well.
In the gym?
In the gym, and
And when is the junior formal?
on the
November 10th.
10th, on Tuesday, I think.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's a night of a board meeting, I think.
Oh, fun.
Oh,
Crash. All right, cool. All right, well,
Coming here.
she can do both.
I can stop by in my dress.
Yes.
Yeah, we could see your
I
dress.
hope so, I would hope
That
so.
would be cute.
There are pictures, though. There are pictures you gotta go to. Okay, so
Thank you.
that is actually all we have on our agenda, but we do have a second public comment meeting if you would like to make a
I
comment.
missed the whole agenda?
Yes, you did.
Did I miss anything?
The Mets are
Oh, a
playing, why
lot.
do you think? No, so if there's anything you wanted to chat about, or, no?
No,
Just wanted to come say hi to us?
what's that?
Just wanted to
Did you
say
come
hi?
in, did you want to make a public comment?
I have no public comment
Okay.
today.
Okay.
Okay.
I was curious, did you guys discuss the field at all?
Well, we haven't been talking about them in the meetings much. We had a presentation by the
Right.
superintendent.
That's what I wanted to mention in terms of new, I don't know if this falls under new business, but earlier when we were talking, we are hopefully going to be breaking grounds the first week in November. And after that point, we will be having at most of our board meetings, public presentations with our construction manager, that will be documenting and going through, where we are at each stage. So I think possibly at our next board meeting, or definitely the one after, that will be just part of our regular business going forward.
And
So-
Maureen, there is we did get a memo that the Reynolds is going to be closed off. And can you speak a little to that? Because equipment's going to be brought in.
Yes.
Especially in terms of the playground construction that's going on. And
Yeah, so I just, as we get closer to the date when the construction will start, I actually did reach out to the village, just to kind of, I know that they're still working on their playground project, and just had asked them in the next few weeks to kind of move their things, over onto the playground. And based upon my conversation with Kendra, it seems that our timing will work well together, because they're unable to pour their surface, I think, at this point, that they're going to be putting under the playground. So they were planning on having the playground closed, I believe, until the springtime as well.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, because they're putting, I guess they were authorized to put like a rubberized surface in under their playground equipment.
Yeah.
So because, again, there's weather, different temperatures that are probably preferable. And based upon where they are right now, with their time frame, I think that kind of puts them at a place where it really is just better to kind of hold it off and do it, which works kind of on both of our ends, because.
So was that their original plan?
No, well.
the rubber or
The rubber.
To be closed for?
No, I don't
such a
think
long
so, but I
time?
think once they got approval for the surface, it's kind of, sometimes things happen as you're going through the process. But to be honest with you, we would have to close out public access to a lot of that area anyway, so it kind of,
Works.
when we close down, we're going to close the basketball court, Lower Reynolds, the tennis court. I gave them kind of the heads up because I knew they were working, and obviously, there's no need to close down the tennis courts until there's machinery here. So as we get closer to that date and have an exact date, then Janine will send out a blast. The village will also send out a blast so that people are aware of it. And then the entire area will be closed off to the public. And I think that is the first week of November. The company has all their bonds, and we're just reviewing all their insurance right now, and they should be good to go.
I think Lou had said actually in the student board meeting, he had told the students that it was going to begin with the machinery coming in on November 1st. Are you saying?
Yeah,
it's
no,
gonna-
I mean, it's always bad to use those drop dead dates, because quite frankly, any work that they're going to accomplish, whether they start the work November 1st, 8th, or 10th, is going to be the exact same in terms of what their ability to do the work is on Reynolds, because of the weather in terms of like the track. And once we got past a certain date, for him, it didn't matter whether he came in October 15th, or meaning the contractor,
Because he can't complete. certain
because he
things.
can't complete certain things, and he was closing out other jobs, which he would, had he been able to get on our place earlier, maybe would have pushed to come earlier. So, but just the way everything has worked out with the construction manager and getting everything in place, it does take some time to get other aspects in place. So I don't want to say it's November 1st, but it will be within the first week of
So
November.
it seems like it would be a good idea for us to send out an email, or from us, even through the village.
No, that's what we're going to do.
Just letting people know
Yes.
about that, and also about the work that's been done in the auditorium.
Yes,
since
absolutely.
They're big ticket items on
Right.
the bond, and especially since the auditorium's nearly being completed, I don't
Right.
think people probably
And I don't know
that.
how many before and after pictures. I think that was something we kept saying. And then, actually, now with the field, they do videotape and document all the work as they're going along in terms of, the
Right, so if you
contractor
want
himself
the-
does
the-
it.
It's
If
ingrained
you want
in all of our
the
memories.
before.
Yes, I know. I know. You don't need any more pictures
But
to
does
show.
this mean that the track actually really will be closed for people to use?
Oh, no, it will be,
Yeah.
the entire area, including the
gonna be-
basketball court, will be closed
Yeah.
down, because there's a big, they have to come in and do like a drainage on the bottom also of Reynolds, so there'll just be it'll be like a complete work zone at that point. And they're gonna actually bring in additional fencing and locks and everything else. Now, the other thing that had been discussed is, potentially redoing the entire tennis court. Because right now, the bond only called for it to be the crack, not even resurfaced, the cracks filled in and painted, which it will crack, it's not going to repair the top surface, so. I think there was, I
You
mean,
said that
again.
we're thinking now about whether we could
Well, I shouldn't say we're thinking,
resurface it?
as part of the construction meeting, we just thought it would be a good idea to see what the price differential with that would be,
To resurface the tennis court.
to grind it and resurface
them,
it. Because I think there seems to be some people who believe that that was part of the work we were doing, so we just wanted to see what it would be if you chose to go that route. Because what's going to happen is, once they do that, they'll still look you'll still see some cracks in them in the next few years. Where if they grind them down and redo them, that surface will be good for 10, so. To see, once they have the machinery in,
When will we have that figure?
I would say within the next week.
And will we be having
Yeah.
a groundbreaking ceremony where we get hard hats and everything
If you would like to,
for the board?
you can
like- and
drive
a
a big
photo.
tractor through the,
How are they protecting the
Football
basketball
helmets.
courts?
well, the basketball courts, they won't be driving vehicles over
Okay.
because they'll be, they shouldn't, they should be coming down through the, they had talked to them about bringing all of their vehicles in through the upper part, and they could come down the path in them, so. Yeah, I just think in terms of safety, there's safety concerns, there's a lot of OSHA compliance that they have to, that it's beyond, which makes sense that they need to close everything down. So actually, the village, I think they were getting a little concerned about not being able to open the park, so I think just when I said, well, we'd have to close it anyway, it kind of works in their favor also, because people can't access the park while there's that type of machinery going around anyway.
All right.
Okay.
Anything anybody else had? All right, we are adjourned.
Thanks.
Are we going to go to executive session? or-